What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Doc Holiday. We're back with another HBCU OverDrive. Remember to like, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe. Man, today is week one, starting week one of football, and I'm about to bring my boys onto the stream right now. I got an Aggie on one hand, and I got an Eagle on the other hand right here.
How you feeling, man?
Hey, Dave, you know how I'm feeling. I feel like a kid a couple days before Christmas, baby.
Okay, we'll see.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Dog, when you supposed to get on the plane, dog?
Dog, my flight leaves at 5:50 tomorrow morning.
Jeez. Right.
Yeah. Look, man, I ain't trying to have no cancellations. So I took the first flight out of here.
You going to go straight and go check in, or you gonna go parlay around the city a little bit?
I'm staying with my line brother who lives in the Charlotte area, so he's got things going on. So I'll probably try to see what the convention center is looking like with the career fair, and then I'm probably gonna hit the mall, see if they got any gear over there, and then I'm gonna buy some time a little bit before I head to his house. Then I'm gonna go to the step show that night. I found out that Ada stepping, so I said, all right, I'll go. If my boys are stepping, I'll go.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely going to the step show tomorrow night, so it's gonna be on, man.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be on.
Oh yeah.
Doc, so, man.
What's up, man?
What's up,
man? I'm here. I'm chilling. You know, it's football time, man.
What's going on in South Carolina State right now? Good Lord.
I ain't even looked at the scores yet. I literally just walked into my house like 5 minutes ago.
When I got off,
that's why my screen ain't rocking right, because I ain't have time to adjust it the right way yet.
When I got off Dr. Cavaliers show, dog, they was down 28-0, dog.
Well, that's about.
You talking about South Carolina State?
Yeah. They were down 28-0. Hold on. Now I gotta pull up ESPN.
When I got off Dr. Cavaliers show, they was down 28-0.
Yeah. Remember, they started 1-4 last year before they won the MEAC, so you know all them out of conference games.
All right, man, you ain't got no money, man. God,
I'm just letting you know. I'm just here to help, man.
So man, I got my guy David Moore, graduate of North Carolina A&T, and also everybody know who he is. My guy Josh Sims, host of HBCU Nightly on Twitter Space. And so we just gonna try to get into these little week one matchups. But before then, I got my announcements, man. Like I said, I'm just, basically, I'm covering the first three games for Texas Southern, so it's within my driving range. So I will be in Prairie View on Saturday, and I will be sitting on Texas Southern side, and I will be sitting with Miss Body and Mr. Rick Body. So they reached out to me, and we're gonna have some fun. This is all love until they play us in November in Jackson State. So, but other than that, I'll just those three games right now, and then later on down the line, I do got the State Fair Classic with Gremlin Prairie View. That's October the 1st. The homecoming for Jackson against Campbell, that will be October the 22nd. November the 5th is Texas Southern versus Jackson State. And then November the 19th is Tennessee State and Texas A&M. So I will be covering them also. So I'm on the road. I'm going to be on the road like I'm working for ESPN.
Absolutely. And speaking of Campbell's up 23-3 right now on the city.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw they were up. Like Citadel had a bunch of turnovers at the beginning, so I saw that.
So we got some couple of previews right now. I know, like what we're talking about. We got Valley just started. Campbell and the Citadel, which is I'm looking at Heisman Lee Williams. That's a bad boy right there.
I'm looking at this score for UAB and Alabama A&M, man. UAB's already up 21-0 with 7 minutes left in the first.
We got word that Abdul I forgot his other last name. He's not playing tonight. He's out there.
So he's not playing tonight?
He's not playing tonight. He's out. So that has a lot to do with that 20.
I got the score right now for Valley and Tarleton State. 7-0 Tarleton. It's still in the first quarter. 2 minutes left for the first quarter. So the other games that we got going on, we got that OBC Orange Blossom Classic with Jackson State versus I'm about to say Mississippi, Florida A&M. Mm-hmm. And also we got that Aggie-eagle Classic, which is North Carolina Central versus North Carolina A&T. What you call them, Josh? The school down the road?
The school down the highway.
We do the same shit. We do the same thing.
They do the same thing. They just don't do it. They just don't do it how we do it. We call them, we don't even say them the 2 letters in the little acronym in the middle. We call them straight up the school down the highway.
Oh, man.
They the little brother down the street, man. They're just a little brother down the street. Little brother down the street.
Big little brother. Not
we got some other matchups.
Y'all got, look, man. Little brother was born at North Carolina Central, so you gotta take your credit when you can. You know what I'm saying? Really good rap group.
Then we got some other games coming up this weekend with
Battle of the Real HU.
Battle of the Real HU, Howard versus Hampton. I'm like Scotty. I'm not putting my chips on Howard no more.
I told y'all.
No more.
I told you and I told Scotty. I told y'all on HBCU Nightly last week. Howard is still Howard. Elijah Bird's getting ready to run. Rum Shack. I coached that kid. To see him be the freshman of the year last. I think he's freshman of the year last year in the Big South. Offensive freshman of the year last year in the Big South. I coached that kid. He's getting ready to run Ramshire over Howard's defense. Hampton Institute, man. I got Hampton Institute winning big again.
You better hope Hampton wins because I've seen that CAA schedule, sir. It's gonna be.
It's brutal. Hey, Josh, turn your volume up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Turn up a little bit more because I don't think nobody too much people can hear you right now.
How we feeling now? Good. No.
Nah.
Let me fix this. I gotta fix this.
All right.
How about now?
Yeah.
We good. Yeah, we good now. We got Norfolk State versus Marshall. That's on Saturday. From what I hear, that might be an interesting game right there, but if you got a team led by Dawson Odoms, you know how he does it. He wants to run the ball. He wants to dominate, control the clock. Pretty much the same thing you seen when he was at Southern. You got got a lot of games.
Just real quick on that game, real quick. We played Marshall last year. Marshall had at quarterback, which is going to be relatively different. Marshall's quarterback last year versus the quarterback this year is significantly different. The kid they had at quarterback last year, which I believe was West Virginia's all-time leading passer from high school. He's decided to transfer. I believe he went to Kansas State, if I'm not mistaken. Or he went somewhere out. He went somewhere Power 5. I know that.
Okay.
And he torched us last year. Kid could throw the ball, could sling the ball around last year. Norfolk's not going to have to deal with that a lot. Hence the reason why you're hearing a lot of upset alert possibilities. Norfolk's offense is going to have to show up, but we're going to see, man. Dawson Odoms, another North Carolina Central grad. Got to make sure I show the big brother some love. We're going to see what type of team shows up, man. We're going to see what type of team shows up.
And we got Gremlin versus Arkansas State. To keep the pressure off, because I think Julian Galvez is the starting quarterback for Gremlin. To keep that pressure off him, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball, keep the pressure off of him, and you also want to make sure you want to keep Arkansas State's offense off the field. So you got to play the time of possession type game, and hopefully they can open it up, with the play action pass and stuff, And also they'll still have a good sound defense. but I don't see them winning this game.
See what type of coach you is, man. See what type of coach.
Yeah, we're gonna find out, man. Because in theory, you could argue he should be the best coach in the conference, but his last stint wasn't exactly so strong up on these streets. But it was Cleveland, so you got to remember it's Cleveland. You just got to remember it's Cleveland. I keep telling myself that, but it's Cleveland.
Yeah, so you got to remember it's Cleveland. Cleveland was not all that great. Something shook me up today. I didn't even know I was driving, doing the Lyft drive, and saying that Donovan Mitchell got traded to the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm. But they were talking about him getting traded.
Oh, let's go. Long as he ain't go to the Knicks.
Well, they were talking about the Heat. They were talking about the Heat for a while.
Oh, that would have been nasty right there.
And they were like, well, now he was like, that man went from Utah to Cleveland. And I responded by saying, it's still an upgrade because it's better than Utah. Anything's better than Utah, yo. Anything.
Yeah. See, what else we got? Oh, my goodness. That's from last week. All right. Tennessee State versus Eastern Washington. So they make that trek all the way up to east side of Washington on the red turf, on the Inferno turf. Devon Starling, feed him the ball. Devon Starling, feed him the ball. Play action passing. Make sure you limit the offensive touches for Eastern Washington, and you gotta go out there and start out. You have to score early and often with them because they do have the offense to where they can actually come back with the passing and everything like that. They don't have Eric Barrier no more, so that should be a plus right there for Tennessee State. And like I said, you're looking at a Tennessee State team that's being built in the image of Eddie George when he was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So you're looking at him having like running backs, got the receivers, and he got the quarterback too with Draylon Ellis coming in from Austin Peay. So that was a steal for them to get somebody that was in conference. So that should be an interesting game also. So I have faith because I feel like this: if they win the game, then next weekend for the Southern Heritage Classic in Memphis, it's gonna be balls to the wall right there.
Yeah, and that's gonna make it interesting across FCS though. They go there. That's gonna make it interesting across FCS. Boy.
So we got Morgan State versus Georgia Southern. This ain't the same Georgia Southern team like you saw when they was in FCS running the ball. They're more of a pass first team now. Morgan State coming in with new coach Damian Wilson, came from Bowie State. And we all know what he did with Bowie State. Turned that program, into pretty much a perennial power. Reached the quarterfinals of the playoffs in Division II. Want to see what he does when in FCS now. And I think most of his players either went to other places and some went to Morgan State because I know a lot of the players from that Bowie State team. They caught a flight, went somewhere, went to different places. We got Miles at Alabama State. I want to see what D. Davis does in game 2 against a more lesser opponent. But I won't sleep on Miles like that because everybody knows how Miles play Alabama State. They play them real tough. They've always played them real close. Last season, I think the game was 17-13 Alabama State. So you already know how they get down. We also talked about Hampton and Howard. Like I said, I'm not betting on Howard no more. No more.
Listen, man.
I'm
man.
gonna tell you about this, man. I'm gonna tell you about this. Howard, when it came down to it, man. I thought Quinn Williams would show me something to where he can throw intermediate passes and not try to chuck it down the field. I want to see him throw underneath. I want to see him throw some like a in, a dig, a out, even a slant, a short slant where the receiver can actually, get when as soon as he get the ball, he can go up the field. I didn't see that.
Front side read, man. He is not very good at going second and third option, coming back across the field, being able to find who's open, and that is a testament to coaching. I'm not gonna blame that kid. That kid is who he is. They knew what he was when they got him, and this is a testament to coaching. A coach is supposed to. You got to teach these guys, man, how to be able to go through second and third progression reads, how to be able to take that safety's eyes and move it across and be able to get to where you need to get to, being able to play from inside hash back toward the sideline, being able to make intermediate throws. That's all a part of having just basic level mechanics, man.
Right.
But as I said last week, Howard is Howard, man.
All I want to say is this. The fan base right now, particularly the football fan base at Howard, the alums at Howard, are still furious about what went down on Saturday because they legitimately thought they should have beaten Alabama State.
They should have. So we got Bethune, which my boy Tito's is in the chat. Bethune playing Miami. So, but.
You know what? Wait, let me recant that whistle. I'm sorry. Let me recant that whistle.
Okay.
We don't know what type of team Bethune has. I was one of the people that was out there saying that FAMU and Carolina was going to be a landslide, and I was wrong. I don't know if Kamari Avery and they quarterback is going to have, and they going to light up the field. I don't know if their running game going to look good. I don't know if their offensive line going to look good. We had Ty Floyd on from ESPN Network on HBCU Nightly about a week ago, and she said Bethune, even though they obviously, if you had to rate them now, they were a have-not. She said Bethune is better than what people think. So I don't know, because it ain't like Miami been dominating. I think Miami still win the game, but I don't know.
Josh.
59 nothing, I don't know.
Josh, what do you think the line is for that game?
Man, it's got to be, I don't know, bro. I don't even want to guess on that one.
Let me see what the line is for the game, man. Because
I'm on odd chart. And it says 52.5.
Jesus.
52.5.
Now remember, Bethune last season
looked terrible. No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
I mean,
they
didn't look terrible. They was in close games last season, in which some games they could have won.
Doc, how many games they won last year?
They won 2 last season.
Oh,
but hey, I'm telling you, the game they played against UTEP, they was down by 7.
Yeah,
they was down by 7.
I played against Bethune. I won't be surprised if Bethune is light years better year 2 in the SWAC. I won't be surprised.
And I'm looking at it to where now I think the difference was with the quarterback that they had. Because last season I think they had Sean Black.
I thought they had Jones who transferred over.
Now they got Jones. They got Jalen Jones. He transferred in from Jackson State, so he is the starter. I think he's progressively gotten better because now you don't have to try to rely too much on your legs to where now you can just rely on your arm because you got the arm and we know you got the wheels, but can you make those necessary reads like like everybody we was talking about with Quentin Williams? Can you make those reads? Can you make those underneath reads? Can you can you look the safety off and come back and hit your receiver? But like you said, with Kamari Everett, I would give him the ball like at least 12, 13 times. I'm targeting him at least 15 times in this game.
Man, you got to, man. You got to.
Then we got Flomo versus Southern. We saw what happened. Florida Memorial played Edward Waters, beat him to sleep. I don't see that happening with Southern for against Southern this weekend. I see Dooley coming in and trying to get his offense going, get that basketball on, that football on, the basketball on grass mentality going with his team, and the defense. Basically, the defense is going to be, to me, is going to be lights out. So I'm looking at them pitching a shutout against Flomo.
Yeah, Southern's defense. We're gonna see if they really are the truth this weekend.
We got Lane versus Arkansas Pine Bluff.
I got PB, man. I got PB, man. You ain't PB, man.
I would give it to him, but Lane is a dangerous team. Lane has always been a dangerous team. So I would give it to him. I will give a little bit of that to him, but I think UAPB comes out and they get their first win since last November. Because to me, like I said, when they played Alcorn, they lost to Alcorn on ESPN. Then when they had the lead and they let it go, I think their whole confidence got shot. And so basically, they couldn't recover from that. And so basically they couldn't recover from it, and the season went the way it did. But I feel like this: if you lose to a Lane, if Pine Bluff loses to Lane on Saturday, Coach Doc Gamble, your seat is fuego.
Well, I think when you're looking at schools like UAPB, man, I'm not sure why they haven't considered the thought of maybe, going down to D2. There's
a couple. They're not the only SWAC school that should be considering it.
Yep. Mr. Dallas should be
considering it too.
Yeah. And I think UAPB will be a solid D2 school, man. Very similar to what happened when Winston State went back down to D2. Woo!
But they were good in D2 already.
They was good in D2. They came up to
D1. They were already good in D2. So they came up to D1 and
they was somewhat competitive, and then they went back down to D2.
It was the money. It's the money.
You couldn't make that money happen, man.
Savannah State is another school that did the same thing. They couldn't just get going when they went to the MEAC. So
they actually was respectable in basketball for a little while,
right?
But the problem, but the same thing with them. It became a challenge with the money side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, Savannah State getting added to the MEAC was to help Florida, the Florida schools.
It was
closer to
because
them.
the goal was to split the divisions.
Yep,
it never happened.
It was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be North Carolina down or something like that, and then Virginia up, and never happened, man. Again, another testament to poor leadership in the conference, man. Just oh my god, man.
Yeah, man. We're not.
And then the funny thing is, when they finally decided to split the divisions, after all hell broke loose and all them teams bounced, Winston, Savannah State, Hampton, A&T, the Florida schools, they finally decided to do it, and then COVID happened.
All right.
They went for losing.
So let's get into the first game, the first matchup that we're gonna talk about, that Aggie-eagle Classic. It's gonna be where in Charlotte, right? Baker American Stadium.
Right in Uptown.
Yes, sir. And the
All
bank.
right. So give me y'all perspective on this game, on this classic, this rivalry right here.
Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this started, Dave, because I know you're gonna try to jump out there first. But look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. First, I'm gonna say this, and I said this on Twitter today, so I ain't saying nothing that I ain't said already. I'm gonna salute Coach Washington, man. I'm actually salute. I'm gonna be cordial and salute Coach Washington, man. Choosing the Jägermeister, man. All of the reports that I heard coming out of that camp was that this kid was outplaying everybody. He was in a 4-quarterback battle. The 3 other quarterbacks just as good. Obviously, Ballard came with the most experience. Got a true freshman who could be able to throw the ball around. You got Hendon Hooker's little brother who can be able to throw the ball a little bit. But everything that I heard coming out of their camp, because we have to put spies over there in East Greensboro. We have to kind of supplant some spies just so we know what's happening.
I know. We know. We've known. By the way, we've known for a while that Jaeger was gonna win the job. Let me be clear.
Yeah, I know y'all did. But we wanted Fowler. We wanted Fowler because we felt like last year, barring us having all of those injuries, man, we felt like we really, really could have done something against Fowler again this year. Jaeger makes this game even more interesting because A&T and that receiving core is, and I have to give it to them, that receiving core is solid, man. It's solid. They young, but they solid. A couple of these kids I had a chance to see when they play high school ball, they solid. But it's gonna be hard trucking, boy. We healthy in that front 7. We done got Courtney Core back home. Dog, it's gonna be rough for that offense, man. That offensive line, we don't know how much of that offensive line is actually fully healthy from y'all coming out of camp. What I do know is that 1801 Fayetteville Street, we healthy, baby. We healthy. And we got probably, if not we have one of the best quarterbacks in all of HBCU football in Davies Richard. Second quarterback in school history to throw for 2,000 plus yards in back-to-back seasons, other than the great Air Harvey. Dog, we feel good, dog. We feel good. I don't want to make no prognostications. I ain't saying what we gonna win by. I'm just ready to get to the bank on Saturday, 7:30 Eastern time, kickoff, nighttime kickoff. All of the lights gonna be flashing. We got the fireworks. We got all the pomp and circumstance of a big-time Saturday night college football game. I cannot wait to see the boys. I cannot wait for these Aggie fans to see what these boys been working on all summer. I've been down to Durham a couple times since the spring. My boy feel good, boy. Oh my goodness, boy.
All right, Dave, what you got for your Aggies, man?
Listen, man, here's my thing. I'm not denying that Central probably has gotten better. They do have some coaches that was on Sam Washington's staff. So I think they're gonna assume that there's some level of advantage with regards to that because y'all defensive coordinator came from Sam Washington's staff. But one thing, you giving kudos to Sam Washington for actually doing the right thing and not just going with the senior guy tells me that he has grown as a coach, which is good. I think there's some level of humility. Like people don't realize the last time the A&T didn't have a 9-win season was like 2013. It's been a while.
And that was that with Broadway or was
that was with Broadway?
Broadway.
Okay,
that was with Broadway. So it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? To be under 500. Going 5-6 last season. It's been a while, and a lot of those kids was on that 2019 Celebration Bowl squad. Like our best player on defense, Roberts. He was on that 2019 celebration. He's the defensive MVP for the Celebration Bowl in 2019. So he's legitimate. He's legit. So there's a lot of young boys that's going to be starting on Saturday, but I think a lot of them are ready too. We're gonna have a decent chunk of freshmen. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaeger's is a redshirt freshman. They're going to probably play a 2-quarterback system. But I think they've done that in the past, and typically the starter will still get the bulk of the work. So you might see a little bit of Fowler here and there. He was talking like you might see a little bit of Hooker. I don't know what they're going to do with Brick Handler, the true freshman quarterback, but he's a dog too. But you got to consider with the way that the transfer portal goes, Sam had to do something, right? Because if you would have trotted out Fowler to start, you were going to lose. You were going to lose some of those quarterbacks to the portal at the end of the season because they actually have.
Yeah, you might have lost 2 out of the 3. 2 out of the 3 remaining.
Yeah, so they got to play them all. And so I think they're going to make it happen. And with going into the CAA next season, I think it's important for them to get those guys get that experience before they go into the stronger conference. So when it comes to the game, though, A&T is gonna try to manage this game like they always do. Sam Washington, former Pittsburgh Steeler, played in the league for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna try to run the ball, play outstanding defense. We fixed our cornerbacks. We're healthy too at the cornerback spot. So I think we got the transfer out of Kansas. So I think we're gonna try to play outstanding defenses. I will admit though, this might be the toughest match against Central that we've had in a while. I will say that. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I've been talking shit, but I'm humble and I'm a realist when it comes to it. I think A&T is gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a close game. It is going to be a close game.
And you know it traditionally in this rivalry, whenever we got the quarterback position right, last time we haven't had the quarterback position right since Malcolm Bell. Malcolm Bell went off and he didn't lose but one game against A&T in his 4 years at Central. He lost one time.
Because if I remember right, Tariq Cohen never beat Central.
Tariq never beat Central. As a matter of fact, Reek was a freshman when I was a junior. So we whooped Reek my junior year and we whooped him my senior year too. So Reek never beat us. And a lot of that was because of Malcolm Bell. And honestly, you know, whenever we've got the quarterback room right, when we go into spring ball, into summer workouts, into camp, and we don't have any questions about our quarterback room, we are always dangerous. That's when we are our most dangerous. You know, our biggest questions going into camp was questions that I didn't think that we needed to have as questions. Like offensive line was a question for us going into camp. That ain't a question you want going into camp.
Nope, but not with our defense.
Yeah, not with your defense. But in all expensive reasons, Trey assured all of us, you know, we stayed in tight. And Trey is a Central alum, man. He was on that great series of teams that we had in the 90s in the CIAA. Coach Oliver has assured us that a lot of the guys that were hurt last year, and I'm talking about we had our 2 starting guards last year, did not play the entire season. They got hurt during camp, and they did not play the entire season. Both of those guys are back. We got transfer guy at right tackle, and our left tackle is a young guy. We're going to see how he can be able to do, how he can merge himself in there. And then at center, we always solid at center. So that offensive line, if they can just make it, I mean, if they do a good job keeping Davius Richard up, dog, we're going to spank y'all, dog. We're going to spank y'all. I don't want to put no prognostication out there. We're going to spank y'all.
All right, we're going to get back to the trash talking on that one. So
hey,
the next one.
Before we finish, though, Doc, I got one name to say real quick. Mookie Colliers. That's all I'm going to say. Do your thing, Doc.
All right, so the next game on the list is going to be the Labor Day Classic. Again, that's Texas Southern versus Prairie View. That game starts at 6:30. It will be at Prairie View. From what I've seen on Twitter, with those kids trying to get the tickets, that game is going to be sold out. That game is going to be sold out. It's always sold out. That first game is when they play at home. Either when they're playing at Prairie View or they're playing over at Texas Southern, even though they got a soccer stadium that they play in, it's always going to be a sold-out game because, you know, you got 2 schools. Basically, they almost like 60 miles apart from each other. Prairie View in the woods, Texas Southern over in the 3rd Ward in the hood. I'm looking at this game. From what I'm hearing, Prairie View has beaten Texas Southern 7 straight games in a row to start the season out. And I feel like this is the year that streak breaks. I feel basically Texas Southern, to me, has the more better team. Everybody know who is led by Andrew Body. They have the most potent offense in the SWAC. Don't get me wrong, like he can pass the ball, but when it comes to running the ball and to have a running back in Ladarius Owens as your backfield, that makes like a 1-2 combination. He did lose a couple of receivers from graduation, but he does have a loaded, he has a loaded receiver group. He has Jared Johnson as tight end. He came back for this season. So to me, it all depends on the defense of Texas Southern. Can they hold water? You get what? Can they hold water? Can they hold candle to the flame? Hopefully they can, because we got to remember last season, this team played 58 freshmen and sophomores. They had this is a young team. That was a young team last season. So now they got their feet wet. So now they're sophomores and juniors. And Andrew Body is a sophomore, true sophomore. Last season came in the third game of the season, played against Rice, almost beat Rice. We're not going to talk about when they played Baylor because it's Baylor. Point blank, it's Baylor. But I feel like if he would have started the game, if he would have started from day one at the Labor Day Classic last season, the wins losses would be totally different now. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, Prairie View, not only do they lose their coach, Coach Dooley, over in Southern, they did get another coach. They brought him up the ranks. Bubba McDowell, everybody knows, played in the NFL with the Houston Oilers, with that defensive backfield, him and Chris Dishman. There's a lot of questions regarding the Prairie View team. I want to see how they do without their top defensive player, Jason Dumas, who also went over to Southern, and how their quarterback is going to be, what their quarterback is like.
I think Trazion Connolly is going to be solid, man. I think Trazion Connolly, who's going to be the starter, he's going to walk out as the day one starter at Prairie View. Man, you posed a big question, and I don't want us to get over that. You posed a big question about TSU's defense.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, like, I'm not getting the feel this offseason that everybody in the SWAC West is worried about Texas Southern's defense. This ain't the type of situation you like. I know y'all catching what I'm saying. That ain't the type of situation you want to be going into when you done lost 7 years in a row. That DB room is young at Texas Southern.
Yeah, it is.
Young. They some dogs, but they young. And they all out of Texas. All of them DBs out of Texas, but they young. And that Prairie View receiver room is old. I don't know, man. Andrew Body's gonna ball out regardless. I ain't got no question about that. In my opinion, he's the third best quarterback in the SWAC.
My thing is, he with the defense for Texas Southern, I would rather for you to play a bend don't break defense.
Yeah, you got to.
You got to, especially in the West, because now you start out, because now you have the implications now, because you can actually make some noise in the Western Division of the SWAC. And to me, I feel like everybody knows that Southern is going to win the Western Division. I'm not going to say outright, but I know they're going to win it. But you have to be able to win this game to put yourself in position in the driver's seat to make sure that you can take care of business in the Western Division. Because your first 3 games for Texas Southern, Prairie View. Then next week is University of North Texas. They didn't really impress me against UTEP last weekend, so it could be, it could be good, made for a good game. And the third game is Southern. That is the Arlington Classic Showdown. So if you play Southern and you beat Southern, now they beat Southern last season. You beat Southern, you basically going to be in the driver's seat. because all you have to basically do is play is you got to beat Gremlin, which I feel like they would be able to do. They'll have a dog fight with Alcorn because I don't care what anybody say. Well, you got a team coached by Coach Fred McNair.
They're gonna control that clock. They're gonna control that clock.
They gonna show what they all about. UAPB might like you said, if they can hold water, is good. But I feel like they'll beat them also. And then what's the
SWAC is just weird, man. Week one in the SWAC, darn near determined like everything. Like, and that's like for me, that's kind of weird because in week one you darn near got the preeminent. You basically got the SWAC West champ base. I mean, I'm not knocking Valley and Bethune and Alcorn and A&M and State and all of them. I'm not knocking them.
right?
But you got in week one with Jackson State and FAMU, you darn near got the SWAC East Championship in week one, man. And then you got essentially an elimination game in week one in the West with the Labor Day Classic.
With the Labor Day Classic. Also, you also have another elimination game too. The elimination games too between Gremlin and Prairie View. That's the State Fair Classic, and you also have Gremlin and Southern in the Bayou Classic, which is
But that's at the end of the season. That's at the end of the season.
That's
what it's like.
That's at the end of the season, but it can determine who wins the West, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I know, but that's the thing. Right?
Yeah,
that makes it riveting for everybody else.
Yeah,
just like we talk about Aggie-eagle right now, right? Because now we play them at the beginning of the year because that's the way it always used to be because we weren't always in the same conference together. But once Central went up to D1 and joined the MEAC, they said, "All right, now we got to close with it because sometimes it's going to be us to decide that conference."
It was, and it always was.
Yeah.
Other than them couple years, South Carolina State has won the MEAC. That last game of the season was always the game that determined the MEAC. It was the last game of the season. So it was done. Most situations, you talking about senior day, and you got to determine who's going to end up winning the MEAC. Like, that's crazy. But it's the complete opposite in the SWAC. And for me, that is crazy. It's darn near like WWE SummerSlam or Elimination Chamber in week one, dog.
Yeah. So now the next game.
Y'all out here playing Money in the Bank up in this joint week one. Out here getting briefcases and shit.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins Jackson State fan, you're gonna be holding that briefcase.
But see, it was never like that until the Florida schools came into the league.
Facts.
And then also when they made the OBC the first game of the season.
No, but look, man, I've already had SWAC folks get at me about changing dates. So I ain't even had that discussion with y'all right now. I'm done.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you just like I'm gonna tell you just like that with the SWAC, with us in the SWAC. Yeah, they when it comes down to dates and stuff like that, we are die hard when it comes to the dates. We don't want to change nothing.
Well, that's because grandma went to the Bayou Classic on that weekend. Mama and Daddy went to the Bayou Classic on that weekend, so I'm gonna go to the Bayou Classic on that weekend. Not keeping in mind if you just change it by one. Never mind. You're right, Dave. I'm staying.
All I'm gonna say is this, and I'm gonna shut up. The Aggie-eagle Classic this weekend is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the first matchup.
100.
We've busted this shit for 100 years. All right. Bottom line, right? We've played in September. We've played in October. We played in August. We played in November. I think we even had games in December. I say all that to say, date ain't that deep, guys. It's not.
It's really not.
Don't you have the match? Like when A&T left for the Big South, the first question they asked Earl Hilton and the Chancellor was, "Are we still playing Central in football?" That was the first question, and Hilton said, "Yep." We're working on that right now to get a 10-year deal. And 1 week later, we signed a 10-year deal with Central to keep that game going. So as long as you make sure your rivalry's there, it doesn't matter when you play them because they're going to come.
Protect the rivalry.
It's always, okay, so I'm going to get on with Jackson. with us, our rival game basically is Southern and Alcorn. So Alcorn, I don't even think they ever changed their game because we always played at the end of the season, right there. That's the last game, and it's the game before Thanksgiving. So, because at the time we were qualified to go to the playoffs, so basically whoever won that game qualified to go to the playoffs. So, and then the Southern game, I don't think we ever played Southern in November until last season, but years before we played them like in October. So we always played them, in October. So we, in October we're switching around. But I know we always played Southern in October, and Alcorn was basically the last game of the season. And I remember when I was in school at Jackson, we always played at the Vet. So it was called the Capital City Classic for so many years until Alcorn decided, hey, we're going to take our ball and go home and play at the reservation. And so, they went back and, when we play at the reservation, it's the Soul Bowl. When we play at, you play at the Vet, it's the Capital City Classic. But the next classic, everybody talking about, the OBC, Orange Blossom Classic, Fam versus Jackson State. Now, like I said, we just talked about it. This game has implications because whoever wins this game is in the driver's seat for the Eastern Division. Everybody know last season we won. Jackson State won 7-6. It was a defensive battle, not too much offense here and there. Everybody seen that was the coming out party for James Houston, and also Cameron Sylvan Craig, Shiloh Sanders, and Shador. So this season, Shiloh's on the bench for the first 3 weeks of the season. James is in the NFL. Cameron is starting, and Shador is still a quarterback.
Well, I don't know. Word came down today. I saw a source today that said that Shiloh is supposed to be cleared this week. They don't have no implications on the plan. He's not gonna play this week, but I'm just saying.
I still wouldn't play him though. I wouldn't play him just because I want to see what my other DBs, especially Gregory Great, what he does playing in his spot. Because I feel like if he's playing the free safety spot, then he should be able to do what a free safety does. To where when Shiloh comes back now, if Gregory Great play that free safety spot, and he's covering the corner, he's covering receivers and tight ends and stuff like that, and he's doing the necessary reads on defense, I'd rather see Shiloh play strong safety. To me, which I feel like that is his natural position right there. So Jackson State revamped the whole offensive line. You only had one returning starter, which is Tony Gray, and he's not starting.
He's not starting?
No. No.
I thought he started.
I don't even know he's starting, man. Because
that line was not good, man.
That line was not good. The line only showed glimpse in the Alabama A&M game, and that was it. They had a D2 school bully them around.
That's why I gave folks so much heat when they were ranking Jackson State so high after that Delta State game, bro. Because I just felt like you almost lost to a D2 school. You should not be top 5. I don't give a damn who.
We should have went down in the polls. We should not even been ranked in the polls for that.
There were two moments in that season when I knew that whoever was going to win the MEAC was going to beat you guys. The first moment was that Delta State game.
Mm-hmm.
The second moment was when South Carolina clinched during the A&T game. And I said, oh, yeah, there's no way they have offensive line to mess around with South Carolina State's defense. They don't.
So the defensive line, the defense is basically revamped. They do, like I said, they still have some pieces that came that returned. Got Kevin Wiggins, John Huggins. Woo! You got Herman Smith, Jay Bolden.
Do this, man. How many times is Prime gonna do this, man? And like, look. I love Prime. Everybody know I love me some Prime.
Yeah.
But if this configuration of a team don't work, dog, how many times you gonna keep tearing the team all the way down and put a brand new product out there? Dog, come on, dog.
So here's the thing, right?
We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about that too after this.
So
Florida A&M, we saw what they did last weekend against UNC. They hung in with them all the way up until the fourth quarter, and we seen what the attrition as far as the depth of UNC came down hard on FAMU. They lost 2 offensive linemen. Hopefully they got, from what I heard, sources heard that 9 players are eligible to play this weekend. So that leaves with 17. Hopefully they can get more to come down, try to play either this weekend or next weekend, because a healthy and fully loaded FAMU team is a good recipe for this whole classic to go about. Josh, we talked about this on Tuesday. Musa,
dog.
Musa is a dog, and he has an arm. He wasn't scared, even though Carolina didn't even blitz a lot in that game. So they only use their front 4 in the game. They play mostly zone. To me, this is after Tony Grimes got knocked out of the game in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what forced him to
do. To me, I feel like with Fam, you control the clock, run the ball, timely passes. You kind of got to be a game. You have to kind of be a game manager on this for this game right there, because giving the ball back to Shedeur and the offensive weapons that he got, it's going to be lights out.
Well, I don't think you got to change. Personally, that style of play is difficult to beat. Using zone blocking up front to be able to get outside quick perimeter passes, that opens up your ability to be able to beat zone. We know Jackson State is a man-to-man defensive style. That DB room is built on everybody being able to play man-to-man.
Yeah.
Dog, FAMU is going to be meshing and pick routing and inside run and middle of the field throw, digs, spots, pull routes. They're going to be pull routing them to death. And if them linebackers for Jackson State, right. Now before I get to that, right? Let me make I'm gonna make a statement on your show again, Doc. Doc, what I saw from FAMU, that ain't have nothing to do with attrition. They made 4 mistakes that made that game open up. You take away them 4 mistakes. Obviously, when you play against an FBS team, you got to play mistake-less football. You can't make mistakes.
Yep, you can't do nothing wrong.
Right before the interception before halftime.
Yep.
Big mistake.
Man.
Big mistake.
Oh.
The first offensive drive.
Run the clock out.
Run the clock out. Don't be greedy. Go in down 7. Because even if UNC comes out in the second half and scores, you're only down 14. Instead of they go down and they score and you down 21.
Because most of the game was 14-7.
It was.
In the first quarter.
It was 7-7, then 14-7, then 21-7, then 21-14, then 28-20. I mean, dog, you was right there in the fight.
Yeah.
So that's the first mistake. Second mistake is the first drive in the third quarter, you fumble the ball.
Right.
That's 2 huge mistakes. That ain't got nothing to do with attrition. That's you making mistakes.
And that's
third mistake. They got bleeding now. And now you start changing up how you calling your plays because you bleed. You go away from the things that were working. Now you're trying to run the ball a little bit more because you're just trying to get up out of there now. It's the fourth mistake. By the time they got to the fourth mistake, that wasn't attrition. That was you done made mistakes and we done capitalized off your mistakes. And it started with you being greedy. It started with your greed. It started with your greed. And as my mama used to tell me, when you're greedy, you'll get fed the wrong thing. And so that's what I saw. I didn't see a FAMU team that got tired. I saw a FAMU team that made mistakes and their opponent capitalized off their mistakes. That's my take.
Once that first mistake happened, bro, that was it. I didn't see nothing else after that.
No,
because when they made a decision to try to throw the ball out, and then they got that turnover, I was like, "Yep, that's it." Because you know what the crazy thing is? You know what the crazy thing is? I have flashbacks of last year when A&T played Duke. When A&T played Duke last year, bro, if the game was a damn half, we would have beat them dudes. We blew it at the last 2 minutes of the second of the half. Get a touchdown at the end. I was like, "Yep, this is over."
Yeah,
they played their hearts out, but this is over. They had the two quarterback system going on.
And that's what happens. Last year, Jackson State against ULM, same thing. Mistake ended up beating them.
Yep.
It wasn't the 20 more scholarships. You throw an interception in a situation where it's like, bro, just manage the game, dog. You ain't got to be greedy.
It was crazy when that game right there because Prime asked Shador, what did he see?
Oh, I know.
And Shador said he thought he saw the receiver was going to be in, but he was out.
But you can't put your freshman quarterback in that situation, man. You can't put him in that situation. Some situations he can handle. And Shador, man, don't get me wrong. Shador is the best quarterback in the conference, and he's lights out. And he's going to be better this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
But you can't put your freshman quarterback in a situation like that against an FBS Group of 5 program. You got to let him manage the game, and you got to call plays that allows him to manage. Same thing with Musa. It's not that Musa can't throw. We see he can throw, but in scenarios and situations where you got to call certain plays, that's when you get evaluated on your ability to call a complete game. I
feel like as far as with the defense, with Jackson State defense, we already know is Coach Thurman. You know what I'm saying? He a disciple of Rex Ryan, Buddy Ryan.
Blitzing like hell.
Yeah, so he gonna blitz. He gonna blitz you. And it's crazy because I was watching Scotty's video earlier today where he was breaking down the 6-man blitz.
I ain't watching. I saw the video. I ain't have time to watch it today, man.
Yeah, it's like, man, this it's a lot to learn. Now, and it's a lot for a quarterback to process because you got the front four just, trying to dog the shit out your offensive lineman, and then you got 2 other blitzers coming in, but you don't know which one, you don't know which one is coming.
Hard to stop. That's what I do on Madden. I grab the box with 6. And I send gas.
And besides from the fact, let me see what they say right here. Says,
the USC transfer.
He ain't playing. Is he playing Sunday? Is he playing Sunday?
No. Sunday.
Exactly. So it don't matter. For this game, it don't matter. But long term, it might help him.
But Blackstone, are you talking about? I do want to know. Are you talking about the USC transfer?
Yeah.
So he's got about 2 weeks before he's ready. He got about 2 weeks before he's ready. In an ideal situation, you would hope he gets ready to go by Tennessee State next week. But again, it's just a product of the SWAC having game 1 be tables, ladders, and chairs,
Out here,
That's what it is.
and they left the ladder. They left the ladders at home though. They ought to just smash the chairs. They just destroyed tables and shit. They left the ladders at home.
It's really like WrestleMania to me.
It's WrestleMania, but imagine if WrestleMania had no storylines and you just had the matches. You had no build to how you got to Brock versus Roman Reigns. You had no build. You just said WrestleMania's next week. Brock versus Roman. We don't know why they're going after each other, but we just gonna make
they going after each other.
And it's gonna determine who's gonna be the WWE champion for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh man, like,
but
the thing is, like, it's all about the season, right? It's all about, and that's why I said changing the date's important. It's about preserving the purpose of the season.
Absolutely.
Because if you already have if you have like a weak conference outside of the top two guys, and they going at it the first game, then you know what it is.
Where do you go from there?
Like, why should I watch? Why should I get on HBCU Go to watch these games? Why should I even bother? Because there's no drama.
Right.
There's no drama. Like, the drama's over after week 1. Unless somebody like an Alabama A&M gets up there and start becoming a legitimate threat, or they beat Jackson, something like that. Then if Jackson wins, and then
I already got my issue about that game right there, because first of all, they took a home game away from us.
Which game, Doc? Which game?
The Gold Coast Classic, Alabama A&M and Jackson State.
That's terrible.
That was supposed to be our actual home game. That's the reason why we only got. That's the only reason why we only got 4 home games this year. Because they moved that to Mobile. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna tell you, look like that for that game. Beat them to sleep, give them another pink scooter. That's how I see it. They had the whole team sign it.
That's terrible though. Like, all jokes aside though, Doc, that's terrible, man. You talking about the biggest brand in the conference right now? And they're the SWAC champions. They didn't lose a game in conference last year, and they've only got 4 home games, man.
4 home games.
That's treacherous, dog. That's sick.
Next year, A&T's only going to have 5. I think we got like 6 this year.
We only got 4 this year.
Yeah, because next year we're going to be on an 8-game CAA schedule, so we'll have 4 home games off that, and then we're going to have Central and Greensboro. We got to go to UAB.
Y'all come
to Norfolk.
No, y'all come to us next year, buddy.
That ain't what I see here, because this is y'all away game.
Y'all come to us. I'm looking at our schedule.
So
this is y'all home game. This game on Saturday is y'all home game, buddy.
No, y'all come to us next year. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Y'all come to us next. Man, y'all stop trying to run from 1801 Fayetteville Street, man. Y'all come going to East Greensboro, man.
Actually, no. It says it right here. I'm looking at y'all schedule at Truist Stadium next year in 2023.
Hey, man, I'm sick of coming to y'all stadium with that bad parking, man.
Yo, you want a tip? Park at the deck. Just go to the deck, pay your little $5, park at the deck, and just walk over and check out a beautiful campus. There's no shame in that.
Man,
a beautiful campus. You pass by the student center on the way to the Aggie Stadium, you know what I'm saying, or Truist Stadium. You pass by the brand new student center. They almost caught fire earlier this month.
You ain't gonna catch me walking in a straight line around that campus. That's
what. Let me tell you something, bro. You wear all that red walking around East Market Street, you might have some issues.
so let's get back to the OBC. So the 2 things that's going on with both of the schools.
Man, I want to talk about this, man. This
is basically the certification for those ineligible players for FAMU, and all the stuff that the football team put out there in the letter. They wrote that on Tuesday, and then Jackson State. It was Jackson basically with the water crisis. Those 2 things that's going on right now. I wouldn't say it trumps the game, but they still have it in the back of their mind. Like, when we get back to our respective campuses, one of us might be ineligible, and the president ain't gonna do anything about it. And then the other squad gonna get back to their respective campus and be like, shit, we still ain't got no water.
Right. And I'm hearing, relatively speaking, I'm hearing that the number is expected as far as the remaining ineligible players. I'm hearing that the number is supposed to be as low as 9. So going into this game on Sunday, that the number will go it should be going down as low as 9. Now this is for people I know that's in Tallahassee that are hearing that the clearance paperwork is being pushed through mostly by the people that they got their own boots on the ground from the SWAC themselves, and then obviously they brought in enough outside counsel to be able to help to push the thing. But I'm hearing the number could get as low as 9 left.
Okay. Well, it looks like they might have an AD by tomorrow because they're doing an emergency meeting tomorrow.
Board of Regents is supposed to be meeting tomorrow. It's an emergency meeting for the Board of Regents. And then for Jackson State, man, you look at their ability to, kind of transition their program to the hotel, and you can tell that the kids are really enjoying that. You can tell that the young brothers are really enjoying being in that change of scenery. So you're looking at two situations that were really, really bad. That's becoming a little bit better. Jackson left for Miami today. Sam left for Miami yesterday. So they don't have to worry about what the hoopla that's going on campus and the distractions that's going on in the campuses inside of their respective cities right now. And they get to focus just on football.
Right. The FAMU's band kind of put the administrators on front.
Put the administration on the line. Put them in check. But I don't like how, because the band came out and said what they said.
Your audio, Josh, your audio, man, it got quiet again.
I don't like how the president kind of dismissed the band about the problems that they had, because especially with that when they went to Carolina, you're on the bus for 13 hours. Shoot, I ain't been on the bus for 13 hours since I used to work for Greyhound, and you basically, a driver has to drive at least 8 hours to get to the game, to get to their spot. They have to rest, and then they back on the road again. So you basically had like 300 students jam-packed on a bus for 13 hours, and some of the girls can't, girls that, when it comes down to it, when it's their time of the month, they can't get they can't do what they supposed to do. They haven't showered. You're talking about going to a game or going to the campus, practice with the other band, and you basically doing all this stuff because other than the football team, remember the band is promoting the school.
Yeah.
Listen, man,
they are the ambassadors of the school.
Let me tell you something, bro.
Hey, Dave, could you imagine this happening here, bro? Could you imagine this, bro?
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about the whole band situation. We know for a fact that band programs are severely underfunded, right? And I call it like one of the biggest miracles when it comes to HBCUs that these bands are still operating. They're pretty much like one of the biggest promotion tools you have, but it's one of the things that aren't funded adequately enough to do it the right way. Like for the Blue and Gold Marching Machine to be as good as they are, considering some of the challenges that they have, it's freaking insane.
Yep.
And so it's just you have to make a decision on what's more important. And like Chancellor Martin just had his alumni town hall last week, and let me tell you something, bro. He wanted all the damn smoke, all of it. He took all of it. They asked him about the band. They asked him about housing. They asked him about the whole gauntlet. And he said, I want all of it. Scholarships, he said, I want all of it. Because he wanted to let folks know. Because for him, he understands the importance of the band, but it's about you got to be able to pay for it. Yeah. And a lot of the stuff, because these are extracurricular activities, a lot of that stuff's got to come from alumni.
Yeah.
Aggie Athletics ain't covered by the state of North Carolina. North Carolina Central Athletics ain't covered by the state of North Carolina. That's strictly corporate donors and alumni boosters. You got to get them checks.
Yeah.
And I think alumni thinks that heading to the game and you know what I'm saying, going to these vendor parties is gonna pay for everything in athletics.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. You got to do this every game of the season in order for you to be able to really put your athletic program in a reasonable percentage. One of the things that's been really cool about us at Central is the fact that we have LaVelle Mowen, right? Mm-hmm. And though I've always said we're a basketball school.
The MEAC's always been a basketball conference. Like the MEAC is a basketball conference. That's why it's fun to see us beat the shit out of y'all in that Celebration Bowl. Because that ain't even our first sport.
Man. You ain't gotta do me like that.
I'm telling you,
you know it's true, but I can't say nothing because the only MEAC loss that's in the Celebration Bowl came from us, and that came from literally a celebration.
Did they haze him after the game? Did his Q brothers went to go haze him or not? I need to know.
No, dog. He ain't got to go see his Q brother. He had to come see all us. He had to come holler at us, dog. He had to come holler at all the guys that have played football the last 20 years. He had to come holler at us, man.
Hey, but you can't sleep on Devontae Kincaid, man.
Yeah, Kincaid.
We got Mama Body up there.
Man, we had
Mama Body in the chat.
What's up, Mama Body? We had Kincaid under wraps though, dog. We had him on strap that game, man.
That was a low scoring game, man. I thought you could pull that shit out until I saw them hooks. Once I saw them hooks, I was like, oh, they really blew this one, huh? As soon as I saw that hook, I was like, oh.
Found a way to lose.
If you would have kept that shit down for like 30 seconds, this could have been an interesting game.
10 seconds. Just walk across the line on the other side, on the end zone. Just walk, dog. That's all you had to do.
Man, I feel like when it comes down to the band, like, yes, donors, like, they might need to be put in as, like, I would say athletics because shoot. Yes, they are a sport, dog. They are a sport.
They are. But once again, it's always about that balance between the general fund and what's not a general fund. The band will probably still get the scraps. That's the problem. Like that's the dilemma.
But at least I know some of the budget is being allocated toward them, similar to tennis, golf, lacrosse at certain HBCUs, swimming at certain HBCUs. At least I know a line on the budget is allocated toward them. Now, if they can go out and fundraise more money for themselves, great. But they go and they compete. You know, you got Battle of the Bands. They practice all year long, just like athletics. They travel, just like athletics. Yep. And they're a non-revenue bearing sport, just like most of the athletics that we have. So I don't see a reason why not to put them into athletics. Why not? You got cheerleading in athletics. I mean, I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying cheerleading is not a revenue-bearing sport. It is a sport, in fact.
And they compete too.
So why not put band in there too? Why not?
And the thing that I always argue is that there's probably a way to make it a revenue situation. And it is hard. And the thing is, I don't know what Central does with their band, but like A&T's band, they got seasons all year. They got the jazz ensemble. They got and that jazz ensemble for A&T is vicious.
Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah, man, they got a bunch. They do concerts all year round. Besides the fact that they march, they the pep band for the basketball team, for Club Corbett. Like, you got it across the board. So you got a way to make it happen. But the other problem is, but you gotta get scholarships for these kids so they ain't gotta work. And I think that's invitations to places they get invited to go play. Like, you guys are getting ready to go up and go play at the halftime game with Detroit. You know, we've done that a lot. We've done the Rose Bowl parade. We've done the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Our band has traveled our school's name, just like the football and basketball and baseball. But you know what the difference is, right?
What's that?
When we go to the Macy's Day parade, they still got to raise the money.
They got to raise the money for it. Yeah.
We never have a problem with that though. I don't know about y'all.
No, we don't. No. We never, like, when they come out and say, yo, we got to have money for Macy's Day parade, they get the money like that. It happens quick.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's just the
I
fact,
think that's what.
it's just the fact that has to happen is the problem.
But I think
It should
that's
be
what
like,
any.
bet,
That's,
let's go.
but I think that's what any HBCU band that gets invited to the Macy's Day Parade, man. Because I mean, like, it's gonna come. Like when you fundraise, it's gonna come because remember, you don't not just get picked like the year before. You get picked like 2 years. You know.
Yeah, you
2
do.
years before that. So I can say this for like as far as for the Sonic Boom, Jackson State, man, like look, Dr. Little, hey, he look, when it comes to the fundraising and all that stuff like that, he is on it. You know, he had to understand, like he understood what it meant for you to take those 12 to 13 hour bus rides to, or like 8-9 hour bus rides to Texas just to go play, you know what I'm saying, go play in Houston or go play at Prairie View or something like that, you know, stuff like that. And where now they got enough money to where like, hey, we'll put these kids on the plane. Like, because you're not about to chuck 275 kids down to Miami on a bus, which takes almost 20 hours to get to.
Right. And that's relatably different. This is my last point on it. That's the relatable difference between the Deep South HBCUs and their relationship with bands and the kind of like North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and maybe even Georgia-based HBCUs as it pertains to bands, dog. What you would consider maybe East Coast South, Southeast, HBCUs. We love band. But it's gonna be hard for somebody to show me a university that's more dedicated to band than the jukebox, the human jukebox at Southern University.
Man.
Jackson State's band, like the Sound Machine. We love band. But I've said this 1,000 times, dog. I did not listen to our band one time in all of the 4 years I was at Central. The first time I heard our band was after I was done playing. We was playing at Duke, and our band was playing in halftime. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize our band was this dope. And that was my first time ever hearing it, dog. That's a bad thing, bro. I'm not saying that as a good thing. That's a terrible thing, bro.
And the thing about the Blue and Gold Marching Machine, man, they travel to compete, and they can, and they've had the battles against Southern, they've had the battles against Jackson, because they've never been scared of anybody. I think Cole's still best drum line in the world. So it's like, they're always been about that life. They've always been about that.
Second best drum line against next to WT, War and Thunder.
Nah, Coldfield, nah, sir.
We
Y'all might be louder, but we more clearer, and our drum line's vicious. Ain't nobody messing with Cold Steel.
I give it to y'all on that.
Ain't nobody messing with Cold Steel. You can thank Nick Cannon for that shit. That went up the roof when that movie came out.
So we got I forgot one other classic, the Red Tails Classic.
Red Tails Classic, Fort Valley,
Tuskegee.
Everybody know who I got in that game, man. North Carolina Central graduate is the new head coach at Fort Valley. Coach Gibbs, obviously great pedigree. He's coached some of the greatest running backs who have ever played this game in the leagues of HBCU. Tariq Cohen, Greg Pruitt, Cartwright. All of these guys that came up under Coach Gibbs, and they put a 30-0 on Tuskegee last year. I don't see it being no different, dog. And I didn't get my pick for JSU at FAMU. My pick is Jackson State just by a little bit.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think FAMU gonna pull that one out, man. I do.
Well, I got my.
I think at the pace that they're going and getting their players back, I think they're gonna pull that one out.
I got my home team.
And then you know what? And I think if they do pull that out, then it gets interesting. It gets interesting if they pull that out. Because if they pull that out, then it might not be WrestleMania 30. Then there might be some drama. Because Bethune lost to FAMU for the first time in like a decade. So that game is still going to matter at the end. So you might not have WrestleMania 30 at week 1 or Money in the Bank week 1.
But you have it towards the end of the season, though.
You'll have that shit toward the end of the season because fam can't sleep on Bethune-Cookman. They can't.
I got my wife in the chat right now.
What's up, Sister Holiday?
She just I think she just landed in California, man. That's where she from.
Okay. Who you got though, Doc? Who you got?
I mean, I gotta go with the home team, man. I gotta go with the home team. I gotta go with 1400 Lynch Street. So I got scored 35-28.
Close.
Wow.
Close.
High scoring game.
It's still a high scoring game, but I still got it close. So now the last thing, man, is like I said, it's Aggie-eagle Classic for y'all. And I know y'all like to talk noise to each other. You said 18 Josh beat 1801 Fayetteville Street. And David, you like just come on the Greensboro and see what it's all about. Now I've been to North Carolina before. I've seen my HBCU stops that I kind of went through. I seen Central. I haven't seen A&T. I seen Shaw, and I went on campus over at Fayetteville State. So
you gotta get to the borough.
Huh?
You gotta get to the borough. You gotta get to the borough. No, I'm just like all biases aside, right? Like you just need to come to Greensboro. Like you need to. I knew you were. Because here's my thing. Here's my thing about Greensboro that I don't think a lot of people understand, right? Mm-hmm. So Greensboro is like in the absolute perfect spot if you're a college kid, right? Because you're pretty much around everything. You're less than an hour away from Raleigh-Durham. You're about an hour away from Charlotte. You're 30 minutes away from Winston, where you got Wake Forest. You're pretty much at the center of all this shit. So you can just hit wherever you want to hit. Whatever damn party you want to go to, regardless of what college you want to go to, you're about less than an hour away. And on top of that, you in freaking Greensboro. And they be jumping too. Greensboro's a college town, man. There's 4 universities in that city. You got us, UNCG, Bennett across the street from A&T.
I'm about to say, because North Carolina, y'all schools is like they're near 30, 40 minutes or an hour apart. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that.
But it goes back to
30, 40 minutes.
But the thing you got to remember too, Greensboro. But the thing is, Greensboro's got 4 schools. Greensboro's got 4 main colleges.
Yeah,
they got 4 colleges, and then High Point University is right up the street too.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Like, so
but
like,
they know it's just different when you got to make that split between 85 and 40. You got it's right smack in the middle of everything for real. Like I hear you on y'all in the middle of all of these. You're 30 minutes from Winston, 40 minutes from us. But let's keep this real now. Where we at is in the middle of everything.
Because you in the middle of you're in the middle of Durham. You're in
the middle of the state. So you an hour and a half. You're a little bit away from Charlotte. You still can get to Charlotte. You still can get to Greensboro. You still can get to Winston. Still can get to Raleigh. Still can get to Chapel Hill. You still can get to Fayetteville.
Winston's about 2 hours away. Right, about 2.5 from Raleigh, right?
Well, I'm from Winston, so Winston about 2 hours.
Yeah, Winston ain't close. And I lived in Raleigh when I worked for IBM, so I lived in Raleigh when I worked in IBM. So
it's crazy because this, when I went to Jackson in '97. I'm showing my age. I'm telling my age right now.
It's fine, man. I started A&T in 2000, so no worries.
But I went to Jackson. I'm looking at him like, okay, so I thought Jackson State was just right there. But then I found out Mississippi College like 20 minutes away from us in Clinton. We got Millsap, which is right across the street from the vet. That's in the middle of Jackson downtown. Belhaven's on the outside. You got Hines Community College, which is they have several campuses around Jackson. Oh man, then realized that Alcorn is numbered like 60 miles away. Didn't even know that until I actually went down there to go see my cousin play. Valley is like an hour and 20-minute ride. Like you got so many schools within like
driving rate.
Like a driving rate is like it's crazy. Like And it's funny because, like, yes, we are the capital, you know, yes, we in the capital and everything, but when it came down to us having fun and partying and stuff like that, everybody came in together and we just had one big old, you know, one good time, big good time. So
that's a test of HBCUs, though. Most HBCUs, though the community around them will be what you would consider to be urbanized community, most HBCUs are in major metropolitan cities. Even Delaware State. Delaware State is in Dover. Howard is in Washington, D.C. Hampton is in Hampton, Virginia. Tennessee State is in Nashville. Like North Carolina Central's in Durham. North Carolina A&T is in Greensboro. Like Morehouse and the entire AUC is in Atlanta. Like FAM is in Tallahassee. Bethune is in Daytona Beach. Jackson State's in Jackson, Mississippi, dog. Like Texas Southern's in Houston. Like, bro, that's a testament to HBCUs that I don't think a lot of people talk about enough, because we get enough of talking about the negativities of where our universities are located that we don't even take the moment to recognize that most HBCUs are in top 100 major metropolitan cities. You might catch you might catch a Valley State that's in the woods, but Savannah State's in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia is one of the most beautiful cities in the entire southern region of the country. I would put Savannah in how beautiful it is against anybody. South Carolina State is in Orangeburg, which obviously is in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, exactly.
Allen University, right across from each other. Columbia, South Columbia.
You know what I'm saying? So, dog, give or take, dog, most of our universities are in some of the most beautiful places. Even you think about Cheney. Cheney University is what, 30 minutes away from Philadelphia?
Yep.
Like, dog, I don't think we talk about that enough. I don't think we talk about why that is a huge factor as into the success that HBCU graduates have had, because we're all based in major metropolitan cities. Greensboro, A&T is in Greensboro. A&T is by far the biggest university, not only HBCU, they're the biggest university of any other university in miles away. The next closest university in size is UNC Charlotte and NC State.
Yeah.
And Chapel Hill. Like, but they're by far
UNCG is pretty big too, but by the time we're finishing up with our housing project, our housing plans, we'll blow UNCG out the water, because we've been
y'all already got more students than them.
Yeah. Not yet.
I think you guys have more cumulative students than they do.
No, not yet. But we do house a higher percentage of students than them, but we ain't gonna get into that today. We house half of our full-time students. They only house they house under 30%.
But I love the fact that we got this renaissance, man, of our kids. It's kids going back to HBCUs. Valley just scored against Tarleton State, man.
Score.
16-7. It's in the third quarter. 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Hey, boy, you almost need to go for two right there.
Yep.
You don't want to go for two. You down 60 with 16-0. You kind of want to go for two.
Caleb Johnson with the score.
Yeah, but I've enjoyed this, man. It's 10 o'clock, man. My wife is pregnant.
Yeah, I'm about to say y'all got to get ready.
We got to get these scores, though. We got to get these scores, then we got to make our exit, man. We gotta get these scores and get it. But Doc, we got to get you to Greensboro. I don't know what you're doing during G-Ho season, but you need to get down to Greensboro. And this year, it's the only HBCU in North Carolina that's got homecoming that weekend. So it's gonna be crazy this year.
Man, don't nobody care, man.
Yeah, you do. You'll be there. You'll be there. You'll be there. You'll be there.
They got Campbell for homecoming. No, they got y'all got Campbell for homecoming.
We got Campbell for homecoming.
Ooh, that should be a good one right there.
That's our WrestleMania third. That's our WrestleMania. I might design the conference.
That's y'all WrestleMania. That's a fact.
And they gotta do it in front of a sold out crowd at Aggie Stadium.
Oh man, I gotta go. I gotta go to A&T, man. I gotta come up to Central too, man, because I just can't leave Central out there, man. I can't leave Central out there.
But you haven't been to Central?
I seen it, but I didn't go on the campus. I just seen it.
You'll love our homecoming, man. Very, very intricate, very kind of, ours is there's this big commercial freaking festival weekend and all.
We take over. No, not weekend. Week. 10 days. 10 days.
If that's
Like,
what you like, Doc, if you like going to places that feel like Coachella and all of that, go ahead.
Bro,
it doesn't get like now. I remember one homecoming week. It was it started. They decided to start it earlier, so they started on Sunday. You know what the first event was on Sunday? We had the basketball intramural team go against the N1 Ballers. That was the event on Sunday. Then we had during the week, you had the comedy show, the fashion show, the step show, the coronation.
Doc, can you see why I hate these dudes?
Then we got to the game, and then we had prayer at the gospel concert the following Sunday to close it out. Our award-winning gospel choir.
Oh man!
All right, fellas, man, y'all have a good night, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm not about to listen to this no more, dog.
Hey man, shout out to our fraternity. I know everybody in the fraternity, so everybody shout out their frat.
Oh, I'm not in the frat, man. Yeah, I'm not in the frat, man. My dad was in the frat. I'm not in the frat.
Huh?
What's your frat? What's your fraternity?
Eta chapter, Phi Beta Sigma.
Oh, okay. All right, new Sigma chapter, Alpha Phi Omega, and Prince Hall.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. My pops are Mason, and my brothers are Mason. Man, they've been begging me to do it. And I'm in Providence. I'm like in Providence, so like one of the first chapters is up here.
Facts.
So it's like they're like, yo, so like they're pushing me to do it. I got a couple of line brothers that are Masons, man.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna do my shout outs. Shout out to God, because without him, we wouldn't be able to do this today. We won't be able to bring all this good entertainment to everybody today. Shout out to my wife. Like I said, she just made it into California, so she's on the chat right now. Shout out to my kids, because even though they get on my nerves, they make me go every day. And
they let you do this show in peace.
Pretty much. Because I got 3 boys in the room, and they some big ones. So,
yeah, but I got two kids, man. I got a 15-year-old.
Shout out to all the HBCUs that's playing this weekend. Hopefully they come out healthy, even with a win, but just come out healthy so they can come back and play again next weekend. So we can do this preview show again next week, because I know, David, y'all got North Dakota State next weekend.
Why do I wish COVID didn't happen? I think that we probably would have given them a much stronger fight in 2020 than what the hell might happen. What happened on September 10th, man? Different team, man.
We'll do the wrap-up show, Josh, on Tuesday, man. Against the Aggie for the Aggie-eagle Classic and the OBC and all the other games that came on this weekend. But again, man, if you haven't done, make sure you like the stream, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for everything HBCU OverDrive. I'm your boy Doc Holiday, and we out. Peace.
All right, fellas.